On a cold April night in 1912, in the dark, quiet waters of the North Atlantic, a ship larger than any the world had ever seen, the pride of modern engineering, the Titanic, slipped beneath the surface, carrying more than 1,500 souls with her. This was not just a disaster. It was a moment that changed history forever. A story built from ambition, engineering brilliance, human error, heroism, tragedy, and mysteries that still haunt us more than a century later. In this video, we are going to explore the entire Titanic story, from its creation to its maiden voyage, to the chilling final hours and the secrets lying 12,500 feet under the sea. This is the full truth behind the Titanic. The world that created the Titanic. The early 1900s were an age of progress. Electricity, automobiles, skyscrapers. Humanity believed nothing was impossible. Shipping companies raced to build larger, faster, more luxurious ships. Cunard Line had launched the fastest ocean liners in the world, the Lusitania and the Mauretania. White Star Line chose a different goal, not speed, but supreme luxury and size. They planned 3 enormous sister ships, the Olympic, the Britannic, and the most famous of all, Titanic. Titanic wasn't just a ship. It was a symbol of human achievement, a floating palace showing the world how far we had come. But fate had its own plans. Building the giant. Construction began in 1909 at Harland and Wolff Shipyard in Belfast, Ireland. For 3 years, thousands of workers built one of the most complex machines ever created. Titanic measured 882 feet long, 92 feet wide, 46,000 tons, 175 feet tall, with 10 decks and room for over 3,300 people. The ship had 29 massive boilers, 3 giant propellers, 16 watertight compartments, 4 funnels. Only 3 were functional, the 4th was added for aesthetics and ventilation. But the luxury was what captured the world's imagination. A heated swimming pool, electric elevators, a squash court, Turkish baths, lavish dining halls, and the iconic grand staircase beneath a glass dome. The White Star Line promoted it as the safest ship in the world. Many newspapers called it unsinkable, a belief that would cost countless lives. The maiden voyage begins. April 10, 1912, Titanic set sail from Southampton, England on its maiden voyage. Its next stops, Cherbourg, France, Queenstown, Ireland, then across the Atlantic to New York City. A ship full of stories, immigrants searching for a new life, wealthy elites taking a luxury holiday, families beginning fresh journeys, and crew proud to serve on the grandest vessel ever built. Among the first-class passengers, business tycoon John Jacob Astor IV, millionaire Benjamin Guggenheim, Macy's co-owner Isidore Straus and his wife Ida, socialite Molly Brown, and the ship's designer Thomas Andrews. In all, more than 2,200 people were aboard. The first few days were smooth, calm, and joyful. No one imagined how quickly happiness would turn to horror. Warnings from the icy. As the Titanic approached the North Atlantic, the wireless room received a series of messages from nearby ships. 6 warnings in total, all about drifting ice, large ice fields, and especially icebergs. But the ship continued at full speed, 22.5 knots. Why? Because the Titanic was behind schedule, because wireless operators were overwhelmed by passenger telegrams, because the ship was believed to be invincible, and because no one imagined that an iceberg could destroy the world's greatest ship. Night fell. The sea was unusually calm, so calm that waves didn't break around icebergs, making them nearly impossible to see. And the Titanic's lookouts? They had no binoculars, locked away due to a simple mistake in Southampton. At 11:40 p.m., everything changed. The collision. Iceberg right ahead! Officer Murdoch reacted instantly. Hard to starboard, engines reverse. But the Titanic was too big, too fast, and the iceberg too close. The ship turned just enough to avoid a head-on crash, but instead scraped along the iceberg's jagged underside. The impact tore open the hull across 6 watertight compartments. Titanic could survive 4 flooded compartments, not 6. Thomas Andrews inspected the damage carefully. He understood immediately. The ship will sink in about 2 hours. Confusion and chaos. At first, many passengers didn't realize the danger. The ship felt stable, the tilt barely noticeable. Some even joked, this ship couldn't sink if it tried. But below deck, icy water rushed in with unstoppable force. When orders finally came to load lifeboats, panic and confusion erupted. No general alarm sounded. Crew were untrained. Some passengers refused to get in lifeboats, believing the Titanic was safer. And the biggest tragedy of all, the Titanic had lifeboats for only about 1,100 people, but there were over 2,200 aboard. The first lifeboat launched with 27 passengers. It could hold 65. Time was running out, and with every minute, the bow sank deeper. Heroism, sacrifice, and tragedy. As chaos grew, true character was revealed. Isidore and Ida Strauss refused to separate. "I will not go before the other women," Ida said. "We have lived together, and we will die together." Benjamin Guggenheim changed into evening wear, saying, "We are dressed in our best and prepared to go down like gentlemen." The ship's band played music to calm passengers, even as the deck tilted dangerously. Their final song is believed to be, "Nearer, My God, to Thee." As water reached the boat deck, the last lifeboats were rushed. Some overturned, some were never filled. Hundreds were left trapped on board. At 2:10 a.m., the bow fully submerged. The stern rose high into the air. Screams echoed across the ocean. At 2:18 a.m., the Titanic broke in two. At 2:20 a.m., the ship vanished beneath the surface. Only silence remained. Survivors in the freezing dark. The ocean was 28 degrees, so cold that most people died within minutes. Out of the 1,500 people in the water, only a handful were pulled into lifeboats alive. Many lifeboats hesitated to return, fearing they'd be swamped. The cries for help slowly faded, until the night grew quiet. The rescue. At 4 a.m., the Carpathia arrived after racing 58 miles through dangerous ice. Captain Arthur Rostron risked everything to reach the Titanic survivors. 706 people were rescued, but 1,500 lives were lost. Newspapers around the world were shocked. How could the unsinkable ship sink? The world demanded answers. Why the Titanic sank. Modern analysis reveals several causes. Titanic was going too fast, trying to maintain schedule despite ice warnings. Lifeboats were insufficient, only enough for 1/3 on board. Rivets and steel were brittle. Cold temperatures weakened crucial parts of the hull. Binoculars were missing. Lookouts were visually handicapped. Miscommunication, crucial warnings never made it to the bridge. A rare optical illusion. Atmospheric conditions that night may have created a mirage hiding the iceberg. Human confidence, the belief that the Titanic was invincible, led to fatal decisions. It wasn't one mistake. It was all of them. Discovery of the wreck. For decades, the Titanic's final resting place was unknown. Then, in 1985, Dr. Bobbert Ballerb's team discovered the wreck, split into two massive sections, lying 12,500 feet under the sea. The bow lay nearly intact. The stern was twisted, shattered by its violent descent. The wreck confirmed survivor accounts, including that the ship broke in two. It also revealed chilling details: shoes, bottles, plates, chandeliers, a child's teddy bear, frozen in time. Titanic mysteries and legends. Even today, mysteries linger. Why didn't the nearby ship Californian respond to the distress rockets? Was it asleep, confused, negligent?
Did a rare mirage obscure the iceberg from Titanic's lookouts? Scientists say yes, a cold water optical illusion is possible. Was the sinking predicted? In 1898, a book called Futility described a ship identical to Titanic, sinking in the same way. Coincidence or warning? The ship swap conspiracy. Some claim Titanic was swapped with her damaged sister ship Olympic. Most historians disagree, but the theory persists. The Titanic remains more than a shipwreck. It is a puzzle of human nature, fate, and technology. Legacy of the Titanic. The Titanic changed maritime law forever. 24-hour radio watches, lifeboats for everyone, ice patrol services, strict safety drills. But the Titanic's greatest legacy is emotional. It's a story of dreams and ambition, of human pride and human courage, of mistakes with unimaginable consequences. It reminds us that even the greatest creations can be fragile, and even the strongest among us can be humbled. Titanic may rest in darkness, but its story shines through history. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more deep history documentaries.